It's true that I painted for most of my life. It's also true that I've written for most of my life. As it happens, the reason I'm here has to do with a freak accident that happened to me in 5th grade. And a moment later, I awoke and realized that I had impaled myself on a fire hydrant. And so that it changed my way of thinking. I'd have to accept that life is finite and kind of find my comfort level at that point. So I'd like to read a brief item here. But once I was out of the hospital, I wrote a poem, and it's called Broken. And it says, I'm broken in a way that has no fix. It's my sad regret for my limitations, my scatter, that which is torn and wrecked. Not for surgery and sutures, grafts or mending plates, not for wishes, hope, or prayers, not for time, yet another pain, all the worse because it runs away, stealing those moments of my life. The reason people might buy my book has largely to do with the fact that I'm not a trained writer. I don't have an English degree. I don't have a fine arts degree in creative writing. I didn't do a journalism degree. My background is in business, economics, and law. And that's been true throughout my life. And so a lot of the experiences that I've had are things that I chose to write down and share with people. My mother was terminally ill for about 3.5 years. And during that time, we made 200 trips, actually more, of course, 200 trips to hospitals, doctors, and it was a sobering time. At the same time, it was a rich time. We were very much connected. We very much appreciated each other. And so we made all that we could out of that time. And the last year, the year before she passed away on Mother's Day, I wrote her a poem. And the poem is elusive. That's not true. The poem is called Special Person. And it says, 'Tis rare that a woman can twine charm, grace, gentility, and wisdom. Yet for one, the heart and the mind speak thoughtfully in effortless lyric. For many years, warm words have been felt soft, like the gentle caress of a child's brow. Ne'er are these platitudes but true voice, carrying moments to completion. She lives not of the I, but instead of the we. It is the way that she acts with many that adds much to her life, to all of ours. The friend to many is not a chatterbox, but a kind heart, who sees the light within, and the light bursts out as she reminds us of our special place, our home, with us, within the cosmos. Seldom do we frown, for she voices again and again, we are survivors, and so we are. While the loose ends of life is sometimes hurt, there's ultimately order, and her vision is right. Sons and grandsons were constantly moving, stretching for time in little scrapes. These are like all beings. She tirelessly cheers us on. The family is always her life. I'm so lucky, for she is my mom. It is her hand that touches my brow. It is her voice that enriches my thought. It is her effort that adds to my day. And I will always love her. Now, the best part of this poem is I read it to her on Mother's Day. It didn't go in a drawer. It's something that we could talk about and cry together with. And that's what my book is. It's not about sitting down at 8 in the morning and deciding I'm going to be a poet today and writing poetry. It's recording the experiences, because I was kind of afraid all of these binders and boxes of stuff that I would written would get thrown into the garbage if I was gone. And so these are things that I said to people. These are things that I felt spontaneously, things about the environment, things about the world, things that just touched me in a certain way that I chose to write them down. Everybody in this room has said them. I've just chosen to write them down and make sure they're there, that they can go back and be held by someone. One of the poems in this book is about a woman that I dated for many years, and she's passed away. But it was an evening, and she was standing there, and I said to her, with all honesty, I said, "You look like a Greek goddess." And I truly meant it. She had the lines and the curls. I'm an artist. I get to say these things. And so the next day I sat down and I wrote on a sheet of paper, I said, you look like a Greek goddess. And little did I know that she carried that around in her pocket for about 2 years. Lost it. And when she did tell me she lost it, I wrote it to her again and she put it back in her pocket. So these are the good, rich, exciting memories that I have from my past that I've shared. This book would suit people that probably are interested in T.S. Eliot or Mary Oliver. That's going to be kind of how I land in terms of how I chose to write or how I choose to write. I think that one other thing you get out of this book is what I've just been talking about, this sense that people are important, and conveying your feelings to them, however it may be, is really important at any moment in time. I grew up, I'm a native of Wisconsin, but our family traveled constantly. My father took me to part of my artwork. And I've always enjoyed drawing and painting. I wanted to be an architect. I wanted to be an artist. I was born into a business family, so the book cover for Elephants and Grapes is something where I knew that there were going to be a lot of poems about women in my life, or women in general. And so I decided I wanted to have a male and a female, and I wanted to have elephants and grapes, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. And I wanted it to be primitive. So that's how that book cover comes to be.